stating that it will start maybe June 31st until July 1st of 2012. Well, you know, if they were such a big hurry in 45 days, why did it take them almost 6 months to issue out a policy? And another thing, I received a little type booklet stating how to process a claim. Later, the letter was dated August 30th. I didn't receive it until maybe 2 or 3 weeks or so ago, and also had a history of any claims that had been filed on this property for flood insurance.
Right.
And this was, it says there's been, they say, no claims on this record, and it goes back all the way to 1978. Now, with the flood insurance from FEMA, they say, I've seen it on TV, I've seen it on other places on the news, they say you may have a 25 or 30 chance, or say 1 in 4 chances of having that flood during a 30-year period.
Yeah.
Well, this is 1978. It's better than 30 years. And by that time, the way they figure, I would have had my home, what we call, flooded out 4 times.
And then
I'm sorry. I just totally disagree with it. Their maps are totally inaccurate. And I'm not going to go down without a fight. And I'm just trying to be like the 21st century Paul Revere, telling everybody,
warning people, yeah.
write your congressman and do something.
But we know on the bigger picture, it's a power grab all across the country. They're forcing people on any kind of waterway, any coastway to buy flood insurance. And we've already talked about how much it costs. But let's talk about the takeover where the government won't help you, like in Katrina, but they're going to take over all these waterways. We covered just yesterday how Missouri, they're ordering people to move from lake homes or go along with all these crazy regulations because a hydroelectric dam has some kind of claim over the area. You've also seen how 2/3 of the population lives in the so-called Constitution-free border zone. That's all along all the coastways. That's where almost everyone lives. Mr. Haley, your comments.
Well, I think it's more like we are being surrounded. The takeover is being in process. And what they're trying to do is probably want to round us up and put us in camps. And people have to say, enough's enough. We're not taking it. We've got to stand up for our rights and tell our senators, I don't care what it takes, to get the message across. I've been trying to get a hold of my senator, Debbie Stabenow, and I have received absolutely nothing in return from her. I even wanted to try to even have a personal meeting, one-on-one, or a group of us stating, say, here's what's going on. I testified in front of an insurance committee for the state of Michigan. They passed a resolution called H.R. 62 to help Congress get off their duff and actually do something to help out Michigan and help this region or across the country to get something going and stop FEMA once and for all. FEMA originally was scheduled to, quote, help out people for disasters and also help out, say, for nuclear wars, but this has gone way past their main objective.
Well, it's definitely time to say no. We've seen really an inability from the states seemingly to say no to FEMA or any other federal agency. They just grab whatever they want. Now, you have also been taking action not only through Congress, but with your neighbors and things. You've got a document here, FEMA coming at your door and flood insurance, trying to educate people about all kinds of points going on here. And, I mean, among other things, it drives down the home value. You talked about how people on fixed incomes won't even be able to afford their own homes. Tell us about your website and what people could do to fight back wherever they might be. Okay,
my website, I did this everything on a very minimal amount of money. The website is what I call a freebie. I learned this from Kim Commando, where to go on the internet that you can design your own website. So I wound up getting the information, put it involved, and I developed a website. I'll give you the website address, www.wix.com/Keith, KEITH, ROY, _ HALEY, JR, /FEMA, FEMA, -AND -flood, FLOOD -insurance.
Yes, sir.
And And I know it's a long one, but bookmark it so you have to type it all the time.
And and we do have that on screen, sir.
Okay. And that way you can research what's going on. You can take a look at my interviews from the TV stations. I've been on 3 different TV stations to cover a large majority of Michigan and what everybody's facing here, and especially the southern part of Michigan. And also the things what I have faced for frustrations. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said I could appeal it, but I have to come up with between $300 to $500 for having a professional survey done, with heights and levels and things of that nature, and still no guarantee whether or not the FEMA will accept it.
Well, Keith Haley, we know it's a complex issue, but it is the time to fight back and say no, not only there in Michigan, but all across the country. The federal takeover is happening. We thank you for joining us, and we hope people will look more into the FEMA floodplain insurance issue, the takeover of waterways everywhere, really. They've even said they have jurisdiction over all federal waterways because of terrorism. I mean, what does that mean? Anyway, Alex will be back tomorrow in the Infowars Nightly News. As you know, he's been working overtime, not even really sleeping since the money bomb, and he'll be back in full force tomorrow. He was on an all-night interview last night. That's why I'm sitting in. But we will bring you even more with the Infowars Nightly News, and thanks to your support, we'll be able to reach even more people now. Help us with our mission. Now is the time. Ladies and gentlemen, good night.